Okay. So just your Saturday morning
Oh yeah.
cartoon, right? You were talking about
Mm-hmm.
those shows and all, in your youth. Like you give so much to the youth, and I wonder
True.
like all those impactful moments. Like you talked briefly about going to from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, to go and listen to Q93. Shout out to Q93 in New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah.
Just what tell me about a moment that stands out for you. I'm sure there were several moments, but what is um, one experience in your youth that stands out to you in your growth in hip hop?
I tell you, it's hard. It's hard to pick one. I was gonna spit the verse for you from I got a song called Showtime on the Clarity 1.0 album
Okay.
where I go back and say how I was born in '79 with the gift of rhyme, growing up in the '80s, but ahead of my time. Y'all think it's about the music, but it's really about the dance line, killer break moves that'll crack your spine. How can you forget about the Soul Train line? Saturday afternoon watching old cartoons. Kiki Shepard at Apollo had us glued to the tube. Tight tights stuck in the crotch. Laughing at the black dude on the American Bandstand doing a handstand. Jerry Curl dripping, doing dances they can't stand. Urbanization on a small screen, but you gotta love it. Some brothers even broke it down on Ed McMahon, all on Star Search, making hearts hurt. Somewhere between Gangsta Limp and the Boogaloo Shrimp, dancing all out of control. But you can't forget about that solid gold. So the '80s with all of those shows stacked up on Saturday, back to back to back to back to back, because we actually watched wrestling, the old WWF in the morning, and then it just used to just run it down. Like, man, this is dope. And then have Fat Albert in between the cartoon. So that was me. But then Rap City was deep to me too in the '90s. I keep it real. Like Rap City, I was a Rap City harder than, I mean, the MTV shows. Just because I think by me knowing it was back on, I went to DC my first time in '89, and
Okay.
so I went by like my uncle's like that's BET, and then like I'm looking at the Poor Righteous Teachers and Vanilla Ice, but like I'm like crossing the bridge that the Poor Righteous Teachers walking over. So summer '89, like that right there blew my mind to see all that in person. So when I came back, that was my joint. Like the BET, Rap City, even the one with Donnie Simpson. It was cool. Like they had the lineup. So yeah, and then my parents took cable out for high school to make me study, and so I used to try to get back to my grandma's house. Just to I get down the weekend and just lock up Rap
Hmm.
City. Yeah, I used to get my friends to run tapes on VHS for me, and I just watch them old tapes of Bring the Pain because I couldn't see it live. Like, so yeah, I was ahead. I was ahead. So
Hip
and
hop,
then I had
yeah.
to listen. So I listened to Q93 at night. The system was better because we were studying for radio broadcasting class. So me just being engulfed in just listening, it was a lot of listening going on. But yeah, the BT, the Rap City, before the basement, like,
Yeah.
yeah, the mayor and all them. That was my
Yeah.
thing.
Ed Lover, Dr. Dre before that
Yeah,
Dr. Dre.
yeah, that was MTV, but they were cool though. Like I like Ed Lava. He played the 45 King. To
Hmm.
do his little
Hmm.
dance. Yeah, so but BET had me. Rap City after school, and then I went to another level in college. Got to college around '97. So yeah, that was my folks till they kind of switched it up. You know,
But they did the right thing, though. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
So they did the right thing.
yeah. It was good. They used to do right by artists. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, close the door. Yeah. Yeah. And my baby boy. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
man.
I'm hungry. You gotta
Yeah,
feed.
yeah, you heard him, right? Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah, yeah. Let's go.
podcast, whatever. Yeah, baby. Well, um, I wanted that answer, those specifics, right? That historical relevance. I appreciate that particular answer because I'm looking for those nuances of specificity of
Yeah.
what you were listening to and in the ways you were getting into it, especially at VHS. You know, this
Ooh.
generation doesn't they have no clue what it means to have that VHS. And if you
Record.
record something, you better take that tab off so that nobody record over it. And then to make certain that VCR works. And if you were really fly, you had that machine that you could put in and it will rewind it for you. Um, that's
I wasn't
why.
that fly. I wasn't that fly. I had to sit there and stand
Wait,
on that button.
but you know that's why I like to talk. I like to talk to many different generations of hip hop, where that old school, that it's like talking about the Atari and the Sega Genesis to people
Yeah,
that have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox. Like they have no clue of where it began to where it is now. And the way
yeah,
that their minds are blown with the graphics, I mean, Double Dribble back in the day on Nintendo, I mean, it went hard playing
yeah.
itself.
You looking for that little nail in the floor to shoot that 3 pointer on. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And same with hip hop, which is a very timeless genre. And my petition, like you said earlier, they would push Shakespeare down our throats to have to study. But imagine what type of a scholar you would have been in college had you been able to take more hip hop genre type classes and be able to study and analyze those nuances and the specifics when it comes to creating and when it comes to, you know, putting those things together and essentially what you do, what you actively do for your community, Mr. J. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Aubrey, what you actively do for your community, I encourage you to write that book. That book, it can absolutely be a textbook, a scholarship type of a text that can be cited, that can be researched, that can be presented in a conference and used worldwide to make things better. So that book has to be done. I would love to, when you do finish that book, to help you debut it here on the podcast again. But you are a gift to hip hop, Aubrey, and as the alter ego, Mr. J, you have a very lengthy career as it is, and I want you to have the most brilliant career. You have another 50, 60, 70 more years when it comes to this hip hop. And I am, proud to say that I saw it at the very beginning in person in '01 because he does have the picture.
You were
That's
there.
my street cred when it comes to hip hop. So yeah, oh yeah, till 3000, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We're in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. So now, so with that said, this is the real ending because I did end it earlier, but I had to come back in. I'll edit all this
We're
together.
gonna edit
But
up.
hip hop,
Okay.
oh yeah, you know me and the
Oh
Hip
yeah.
Hop Scholar family. Thank you so much for joining us with this podcast, Mr. J. Check him out September 19th before TikTok. And with Mr. J Bandcamp, check out his full discography. When you see him out and about in New Orleans, in Lafayette, BR, all over Louisiana, Gulf Coast, Rough Coast, across the nation and the world. Y'all shout him out. Y'all support him. And y'all definitely know that hip hop is alive and well for sure. So y'all take care. We out of here.